Hello, this is Lynn Matajan from Matajan's Herbals, and tonight we're doing our third class on summer bugs. Tonight we're going to talk about fleas. It is, then next Wednesday we're going to talk about flies and how to keep them out of your home or business. And then after that, we're going to move into making some medicines for common medical complaints. So that's what we've got going right now. Just another reminder that we will be doing our full moon ritual at Wiggum's Hollow. That's on 10th and Pine in North Everett. We will be walking the labyrinth. So if you are going to join us in person, you want to be there at 6 o'clock. That's when we start. We're going to mix it up. If you've been to Wiggum's Hollow and done the labyrinth with me in the past, we're going to mix it up a little bit because I want to be able to still videotape it. Now, I have to tell you that watching people walk a 20-minute labyrinth is going to be very boring, and so we're going to start the video at 6:30-ish, 6:20 to 6:30-ish. And what we'll do at that point is we will cast a circle and do some smudging. It'll take a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past, because what we've done in the past has been just simply me. And when we're back at the parks, each individual person will be going up and burning their release. So if you have the opportunity to join us, I'd love to see you there. If you don't have the opportunity to join us, then I certainly hope that you are able to watch it on the Facebook Live. Leave me some tips with how you think it happened, how it worked on the video, and what we can do to make it a little bit better if you would like. This is going to be a growth experience for me and probably everybody that attends, whether they're attending on Facebook or whether they're attending in person. So fleas. Fleas are miserable. I remember when I was a kid, we always had dogs and cats, and when I was a kid, I don't think there was really, short of flea baths for your critters, there really wasn't a whole lot of things that you could do to prevent the fleas. Now there's like a lot that you can do, but adult fleas can live about 3 months, and they live in your furniture as well as your dogs. They live, in your soft furniture. They live on people as well. And so even if you give your dog a flea bath today, tomorrow there'll still be fleas in your house and in your yard, and therefore they will be reinfected with the fleas. It is, fleas are a miserable thing. So, they're both miserable for the dog or the cat or the bunny, and they're miserable for the people that are around, because like mosquitoes, fleas tend to like me a lot, and that isn't good. So in the 3 months that they're living, they are constantly laying eggs on your pet that looks kind of like dandruff. So flea eggs hatch into larvae, which that lives in the carpets and the floors, the rugs, sands, blankets, all those things. These tiny larvae cannot jump yet or move, so they live off the black specks of blood, of dried blood, that fall off of your pets, along with flea eggs, when your dog scratches and or moves around. After a week or two, the larvae go into a cocoon stage. It's called pupa. And then a week or two later, they hatch out as small fleas that feast on your pet. Then they start the whole process over again. So during the active flea season, the entire cycle is about 2 weeks of that they're biting your critters. The good news is that cleaning greatly cuts down on the number of adult fleas that will make it to your pet. Washing your pet bedding, or your bedding if your dogs sleep with you, at least once a week will kill all life cycles of fleas. The vacuum will be your best friend at helping get rid of eggs, fleas, larvae, and pupae. Now, here's some helpful hints, okay? Lavender essential oil kills fleas. So when you are vacuuming your furniture and your rugs, if you get a cotton ball and put lavender essential oil on it and then put it in whatever your dust catcher is, then what happens is when you vacuum up the fleas, it kills them. If you don't do that, when you vacuum up the fleas and then you empty your dust collector, you're just recycling the fleas, because the adult fleas will hop out. The non-adult fleas won't hop out, but the adult fleas will. They'll hop out and start looking for your critters again. So make sure you get the lavender essential oil in that, so that, if you're going to vacuum, you might as well make sure you vacuum them all up. It is, if you have a flea infestation, obviously the more you vacuum, the more you're going to get and kill the fleas, and that's going to help. Other things that you can do. So actually, let me look at here. So the eggs and the larvae and the pupae will be most concentrated where your pet sleeps. So that's a real important thing, is to make sure that you vacuum where your pet's bedding is, and where the pet hangs out in your house. Otherwise, just regular vacuuming around the general areas are going to be fine. Homemade flea powder will work on your dog. It is the flea powder ingredients that I use are food grade diatomaceous earth, neem powder, which is a plant, yarrow root powder, and you can put some drops of eucalyptus oil, essential eucalyptus oil, in there, but to be honest with you, I typically don't, because most dogs are smaller than humans, and so the essential oils can be dangerous for your critters. So you mix all those ingredients together and put in a shaker top container. And here's a helpful hint, one of the frugal tips that I quit doing, but if you use Kraft grated Parmesan cheese on top of your spaghetti or any other dish that you're making, that top, the shaker top, will fit a mason jar, a wide mouth mason jar. Now, the other thing is that, actually, once you wash it, you don't even need to use the mason jar, because you can use the container that the cheese was in. I'm finding after last year, I've used mason jars through my lifetime for a whole lot of crafts and for a lot of different things. And now that I'm seeing some of those crafts come around again, every time I see that, I want to say, don't use it for don't use the mason jars for crafts, because we don't have enough for canning our food. I think I'm going a bit over the top with this, and so, but if you want the glass, you can use the canning jar, or you can use the whole craft jar. It is you want to apply the flea powder along from the head to the tail of your pet's spine in dry conditions. If your pet is wet and you put it on there, it's going to clump and make a real big mess. Brush your pet's fur going against the grain, so that the powder goes into contact with the skin and doesn't just sit on top of the dog's fur. Avoid the nose and eyes, but do rub powder on the belly and the legs. try to get the flea powder on as much skin as you can. It is because that's going to help. Now, the diatomaceous earth is really not very expensive, and you can take that diatomaceous earth, if you've got a carpet, and go ahead and shake it all over your carpet and let it sit for about, overnight, and then vacuum it up, and that will kill any adult fleas as well as the larva and the pupa as well. It is, it can be a little bit messy, but it's, it really isn't that bad if you're going to go ahead and get rid of all of the fleas in your house. When you bathe your dog, you can give it a rosemary conditioner flea treatment. Okay, it is, you make tea with the rosemary. So a teaspoon of dried rosemary in a pint of boiling water, let it steep for 10 minutes, so just like if you were making medicine tea for yourself, and strain. When it's cool enough for cool to body temperature, you can pour it over your pet for the final rinse in his bath. Rub it in and towel dry. Don't rinse it out. It's fine to stay on the skin. And you can then also put that rosemary tea in a spray bottle and spray your dog, every now and again, like daily or every other week or whatever, and that will help keep the fleas away as well. And good news is I finally was able to get a good-sized shipment of plastic bottles. So if you want to make this and have the spray bottle to spray your animal, we've got them in the shop. I'm very pleased to say that. Now, you can do all of the stuff to kill the fleas on the dog or the cat and kill the fleas in your house. But if your dog or cat goes outside, there are more than likely fleas in your yard as well. So what you want to do is, there's this thing called nematodes. That is nematodes. And you can get them seasonally on at Lowe's, the big box stores, Lowe's and Home Depot. You can get them year-round on Amazon. We're a little bit late in the season to be putting them out now, because what you need to do is, nematodes are little teeny tiny critters that eat fleas and aphids. But they have to be, generally you're going to do it in the spring, because you're going to put the nematodes out, and I think they cost about $30 or so. And then you have to water the lawn, because these are like brine shrimp. If you had fish, where they're freeze-dried, and then you put them in water and they come back to life. I never understood how that worked, actually, and it seemed kind of creepy to me, but nematodes are the same way. So you're going to want to put them out, and then you're going to want to spread to water them. Right now it's too hot. So if we end up with a couple of days of rain, you could put them out then and let the rain water the yard for you, and then you should be okay. It is but I guess it's one of the things to think about. And so next year, because I'm a little bit late this year, next year in the springtime you want to do it. So what they are actually are microscopic worms. They're harmless to people and pets, but they will kill the fleas. They're generally, it will tell you on the outside of the package how you need to apply it to your yard. And because sometimes different companies make different preparations, you're going to want to make sure you read that, because that will help you make sure that it works as well as it can. So there are flea-repelling flowers and herbs as well that you can put in your yard. It is chrysanthemums, marigolds, geraniums. They all help deter fleas. Many herbs also act as natural flea repellents, including mint, rosemary, lavender, and catnip. These can be grown in pots as well as in garden beds. Do keep in mind that mint is pretty invasive, and if you don't contain it, you'll end it up with a full yard. But you want to put these plants, again, in one of two places, where your dog or your cat frequent or where you frequent. Because if you are on the deck and you're getting eaten by fleas, put these plants around your deck. It looks beautiful. You can cook with them later on in the year, and they'll stop the fleas from biting you. If you have a flea infestation, really bad fleas, you're going to want to do all of these things more often, like on an every other day basis until you get it under control. Because otherwise, they're going to continue to procreate, and you're going to end up with just way too many of your of fleas in your house. It is... I have all of the stuff in the shop to make the flea powder, so that if that's something that you would like to do, or I actually, tomorrow we'll go in and make it already, and so you can just buy it already made if that's something that you would like to do. So that's how you get rid of fleas. It's a little bit work intensive, but it makes life a whole lot easier for both you and your critter than suffering with the flea bites. So this is what I've got for today, and it is 7:18. So this is so I'm giving you a couple of extra minutes today to take care of the last couple when I went over. I'm thinking for me 20 minutes is good. If a 20-minute class works for you, please again let me know that, or if you want me to go a little bit further in depth and do a little bit more time, we can talk about that too. Just make notes and send them to me. I will put the recipe for the flea powder and for the rosemary conditioner on this video tomorrow. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.